Happy Friday, everybody. Max here, and coming up, GTA 5's enhanced PC release is the lowest rated Rockstar game on Steam to date. Sony will soon be running out PS5s in the UK, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but somebody paid almost $90,000 for a Cheeto that's shaped kind of like Charizard. Let's get into it. Grand Theft Auto 5 has been re-released so many times it can be easy to lose track, but earlier this week, a port of the 2022 PS5 and Xbox Series Enhanced Edition finally got released on PC. And even though Rockstar has had 3 years to iron things out, it's had a bit of a bumpy launch. So much so that it's currently the esteemed publisher's lowest rated game on Steam to date, with 51% of its 12,143 user reviews being positive, which is technically a mixed reception, but just barely, and it could very easily veer into negative territory, which would be kind of wild for such a beloved game. The second best-selling game of all time, no less. So what's the issue? The Enhanced Edition is a free upgrade for anybody who owns the base PC version, which is now called the Legacy Edition, but it's not just a patch, rather a whole separate program that has to be installed. So existing players have to migrate their progress and online profiles over, and that is where a lot of folks are running into problems. There have been numerous reports of player accounts being ineligible to migrate. Possible reasons include previous bans or suspensions, illegitimate earnings, or insufficient progress, which is presumably an effort to curb online cheating, but which also seems to be affecting non-offenders too. On top of that, it sounds like text chat has been flat out disabled for the Enhanced Edition. This is seemingly to fight spam bots and other bad actors, but it comes at the expense of players who aren't friends being able to communicate with each other off mic. As one Reddit user puts it, now there's, quote, no fun playing with randoms now. Only way to communicate now is to honk the horn and point the finger. Well said. The fact that the Enhanced and Legacy Editions are now classified as separate games has also fragmented the player base a bit, since players on one version can't interact with players on the other. And despite the PC port arriving 3 years after the Enhanced re-release on current-gen consoles, other players are running into their share of technical issues like choppy frame rate and blurry visuals. Some of that may be chalked up to their particular setups, but at the same time, maybe it shouldn't be hard to make a port of a 3-year-old re-release of an 11-year-old console game run well on a PC with state-of-the-art hardware. I'm just throwing that one out there. And of course, aside from all that, everybody's impatient for GTA 6, but PC players in particular are pretty in the dark about when or if they'll even get to play their new installment on their platform, so it's not hard to see how this might feel like salt in the wound for devoted fans. Hopefully, Rockstar can fix things before anybody gets any more angry about it. If you live in the UK and want a PS5 but you can't commit to buying one outright, you're in luck because they are now 100% free. No, I'm just kidding. Sony has partnered with a company called Raylo that allows players to lease PlayStation consoles and hardware for a monthly fee. There's a rolling monthly option as well as 12, 24, and 36-month plans. The more you're willing to commit to, the lower the price per month, but also it's a rental, not an installment plan. Sony's site states, quote, you have the option to return, upgrade, or you may have the option to purchase the device at the end of your lease, subject to Raylo's discretion and pricing at that time. Something tells me they're not just going to hand it over as a way of saying thank you for being such a loyal customer though, so I don't know, take that with a grain of salt. There are bundles that include 1 or 2 wireless controllers as well as the PS5 Pro and PS5 Slim consoles just by themselves. There's also the option to rent a PlayStation Portal for remote play, a DualSense Edge controller if you want to feel like a real pro gamer, or a PSVR 2 headset if you want to feel like a cool cyber person from the future, or play that game where you climb stuff in Horizon. These types of payment plans are generally pretty predatory on folks who are cash broke, have bad credit, can't do math, or some combination thereof. I was about to say maybe if you treat this like renting games in the 90s, it could be an affordable solution for anybody who wants to play a few PS5 exclusives without shelling out for the whole console, but this isn't the 90s, so you can't easily rent games anymore, and even if you know a place that does game rentals or you borrow some physical games from a friend, the consoles available for rent from Raylo are all disc-free versions, which means you gotta buy games off of PSN or pay for a PlayStation Plus subscription, all for a console that you don't actually own. Pretty sneaky, Sony. Speaking of throwing money away, somebody bought a single Cheeto for $88,000. Now, it wasn't a regular Cheeto, mind you, it was a flamin' hot Cheeto. And also, it went viral recently because it's shaped like the silhouette of the Pokémon Charizard, which, yeah, you can see that, it definitely does. Posted in late 2024 on the auction site Golden, which specializes in sports memorabilia as well as Pokemon cards, the early bids were apparently somewhat reasonable, or at least not completely idiotic, but then 60 bidders proceeded to drive the price up to the closing price of, I repeat, $88,000 for a Cheeto. That's it. That's the story. This is, of course, by no means the dumbest thing anyone's paid too much money for, nor is it the dumbest food that kind of looks like something that someone's paid too much money for in an online auction. Way back in 2004, a woman made headlines for selling half of a grilled cheese sandwich on eBay that she realized looked kind of like the Virgin Mary after she took a single bite out of it. So I guess the moral of the story is watch what you eat, literally, to make sure you're not swallowing a fortune because you didn't realize you found a blue Taki that's shaped like Blastoise, or that your Oreo is shaped exactly like Voltorb, or that your ice cream cone bears a striking resemblance to Vanillite. In any case, that is your fix for Friday, March 7th, 2025. If you haven't yet, go check out my pal Simon Carty's hilarious preview of Atomfall, in which he murders every single NPC he encounters and also imparts some interesting info about that game. I'm suddenly much more interested in that one. Also, happy daylight savings weekend to all who observe. Remember to set your clocks forward an hour and brace yourselves for a rude awakening on Monday morning. We will see you back here then, and remember, for everything gaming, you're already in the right place, IGN. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you around.